Okay, please stand up. Please hold the palm. One bow to the Buddha. Okay, first prostration to the Buddha. Okay, second prostration. Okay, third prostration. Okay, one more to the Buddha again. Okay, please take a seat. Okay, please take a seat. Okay, as normal, shall we recite the Guan Yin Pusa Senha for around 10 minutes? Please hold the palm and follow me. 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观 观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世 音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。Okay, please follow me. Recite 释迦牟尼佛 for 3 times. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。Okay. Okay, good morning, brothers and sisters. Okay, first announcement. Now, as for the next lesson will be on 19th of June, as normal, okay, in 2 weeks' time, every second and fourth week. So now back to normal after the visa day, right? 19th of June, okay, next lesson. Okay, please refer to your textbook. Please turn to page 227. Now, let's have a quick one to recap what I've taught you for the last lesson. We are talking about Bodhisattva path. You can choose any seat. Yeah, it's okay one. Because even if you know each other, it's okay one. It's better to make some friends. I know you don't want to make some friends, not like going to the church. Anyway, you know, if you go to the church, you sing the Holy Song first before the Bible talk. I told you I went to a couple of times in England, right now. So we chant the Buddha's name, it's just like they're singing the Holy Song. And also waiting for the latecomer, also make sure you calm down so before you really can focus, I hope so, can focus on the subsequent lecture. Okay, that's my intention to have a chanting, the Guan Pusa Sen Hao. Otherwise, this is the Dharma class, I just come straight forward, very straightforward to just deliver the lecture. That's my intention, okay? Now, so we are talking about the 6 parameter will be the first one, the giving, we call it dana. As you know, the parameter means the transcendence, or 6 transcendence, or 6 perfection in English. Of course, in Sanskrit, we call it parameter. Now, so I just want to highlight to everybody the 6 perfection, or liu du. Okay, we start with giving. Chinese called 布施, right? Right, precepts. Patience, okay, tolerance, okay, diligence or effort, 精进, and concentration, or we call it meditation, 禅定 in Chinese. And last one, we call it prajna, wisdom, 智慧. Now, so among these 6 parameters, actually, we can divide it into 2 main categories. We call it self-benefit and benefiting others. So, in other words, these are more on the self-benefit. 自利 in Chinese. Okay, the first 3 will be on benefiting others. 利他 in Chinese. Now, the 4th one, effort or diligence. Everything you do, you have to put in your effort. You must work very hard, whether in your career or in your study or anything, or the learning. So this is common to these 2. Common to the rest of the parameter, right? So therefore, this can be divided into these two main categories. We call it self-benefit and benefiting others. 自利利他. And these two benefit is possessed by the Buddha. Buddha have this kind of character. All right. We call it 三德二利, right? 3 virtues and the 2 benefit. You cover in your module 1. All the Buddha the same, right? They have this kind of quality. I mean the kind of merit. So now can you turn to page 227? So this morning we're going to start the 6 parameter, 6度, probably 3 of them. We see how it goes. Can you see the page 227? The parameter of giving, verse 1 to 4. For the benefit of all sentient beings, the body, all useful things, okay, and all good dharmas of the 3 periods. And this is talking in terms of times. We call it 三世, 3 periods: past, present, future. Right? So in Buddhism, this we are talking in terms of times. Past, we started at 9:45. Present now, 10 o'clock sharp. And future, later on, will dismiss the class at 11:15. Right? So past, present, future. Of course, according to Diamond Sutra, 金刚经, we have to go beyond it, beyond time and space. Right? So otherwise, you still, constrained, right, by the time. For instance, if you think that, I'm going to dismiss the class at 11:15, then keep on waiting. So you are constrained by the time. But if you can go beyond it, if you can listen to the class attentively, very focused, and you're beyond time and space. Space in terms of you sit down there, but you don't feel uncomfortable. Okay? You see, in Buddhism, Dharma class or Dharma talk, usually very long one. Like for me, this 1.5 hours. But at least I took 10 minutes for chanting. Some, can stretch to 2 hours for the talk. But how can you focus for such a long time, 2 hours, very focused? Sometimes it bounce in between, you bounce to have some distraction. Right? Very difficult, especially Dharma, so profound. Kong, 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 they're going to talk about emptiness, kong, kong, kong. Right? So how can you so focus? You see, if you study in the secondary school, primary school, secondary school, JC, or in the university, like my case, 2 hours lecture, the first hour they have a break, 10 minutes break, you can go toilet, whatever, so you relax a little bit. Then back to the classroom, then you feel slightly fresh a little bit. Right? So Buddhism is, what I say, is too intellectual, a lot, very long, the talk is very long. But for Christianity, I went to the church, the Bible talk is half an hour only. Throughout the 1.5 hours, it's the other way around. No? The talk is only half an hour, and 1 hour is singing holy song. Whether piano or guitar or band, very modern, just as City Harvest. Because song is very emotional, you feel the touch. And this is too intellectual, because you have to crack your head. And this is not the Bible teaching. Testament, Old New Testament, they're very straightforward. But this is, we talk about transcendences, talk about perfection, talk about wisdom, right? So it's beyond knowledge. So it's not easy to understand, especially in this module. That's why I asked 2 of them, the newcomer. All of a sudden, you just join you. I talk about emptiness. Can you understand? I talk about dependent origination, because I cannot repeat the whole thing again, because they already attended module 1 and module 2. They came from module 1 and module 2. All right, so if you join in, unless, I don't know the organizer because I told them before, unless you have a basic knowledge in the Dharma, then you can direct entry. Just like go to poly. You want to direct entry second year? If you're poly diploma, you want to direct entry to the university, you skip the first year, you go to the second year. First year is a very common one, so you can skip because you have a diploma already. So, in other words, just like here, you must have a basic kind of knowledge on Dharma so that you're qualified to direct entry second module or third module. By right, but always by left. Right and left. Right? Okay, so here, can you see the first paragraph? Today I focus more on the Dharma. Well, last lesson, too many examples already, so a bit dragging away. Okay, so in the Dharma common to the 5 vehicles, you study in the module 1. So giving one, you see, module 1, we talk about 5 vehicles, is we call it worldly Dharma, from the mundane perspective, 世俗的. Right? You also talk about giving, 3 wholesome acts. Can you remember giving? But the time of giving is something to do with the assistant, something to in connection with the self. So you expect something return. But having said that, this is a good gesture because you do some charity work. Right? So this is considered giving. You do a voluntary work. In any organization, Buddhist organization, or in the government organization. Right? So giving. But this is very in the mundane level. But now this giving is in the super mundane level, world transcendent level, 出世间 Bodhisattva. And you will realize that in the second module, this module 2, we talk about arahantship, right? Do we talk about giving in the 3 vehicles? Dharma common to the 3 vehicles? No, right? I mean, if you can recall, no right, no giving, right? Oh, forgotten. So we didn't talk anything about giving. Because to them, because it's more self-cultivation. 自利. But this is benefiting others due to great compassion, 大悲. Right? And that's why you talk about giving. But this talking about giving is different from the module 1, 5 vehicles. Because this is more superior. Why? Because this is something to do with the incarnation with emptiness. 跟空相应 with emptiness. That means detachment. In module 1, because you talk about giving is attachment. I give you money, no. I help you, you must say thank you, no. You expect something return. Okay? Now, so emptiness here, Kong in Mahayana Buddhism, because the great vehicle is Mahayana Buddhism, right? So in Mahayana Buddhism, Madhyamika, you know Madhyamika? 中观. Okay, in Chinese. And this is one of the 3 different systems of thought. 大乘三系 the one, 其中一个 among 3 of them. So in Chinese, if you know Chinese, you heard before, 中观 Madhyamika, you can see on the PowerPoint. And the second one, 唯识 mere consciousness, or we call mind only school, Yogacara. Chinese called 唯识. And the third, storehouse in English, 如来藏 Tathagata Gaba, right? 如来藏. Okay, so these are very profound in Mahayana Buddhism, right? Different system of thought. And you see among the 8 schools in Chinese Buddhism, 八大宗 Pure Land, the Buddhist talk about Pure Land, Pure Land, 净土 Zen, 禅宗, etc. Now all these 8 schools, their thought, or because their principle, or their teaching, right, is originated from these 3. So therefore, we can see that these 3 are very important. Okay? And this is a philosophy, a Buddhist philosophy, right? Madhyamika. So Madhyamika talk about middle path, 中道, middle path, don't fall into the 2 extremes. But a lot of Buddhists, when they cultivate the Dharma, 修行, they always fall into the 2 extremes. Now, one-sided. One is focused too much on chanting. 只念经不听经, only chanting. This is one extreme. The other one, people like you, probably more intellectual a little bit. You focus too much on theory, teaching, right? But you don't chant. You don't believe in chanting. And these are the 2 extremes. Okay? So in Buddhism, we talk about middle path. Chanting and understanding, right, emotional, is in parallel. 并行 in Chinese, in parallel. Or if you use the money word balance, how you balance out? Life balance. Right? So in Maya Buddhism, Madhyamika sources argue that all phenomena are devoid of any ultimately determinable or essential character. Okay? So at the same time, emptiness, of course emptiness is not nothingness. As I told you before, emptiness means detachment. 不要执着. It's not nothingness, empty pocket, no? Right? So emptiness is referred to the nature. The nature of all things are empty. Nature means sin. In Chinese, nature. This is a philosophical term, right? So, at the same time, everything is differentiated from nothingness, as I told you before. It's not nothingness. It's not referred to nothingness. So, through being linked to the teaching of the dependent arising or dependent origination, 缘起, all things are depend on causes and condition. All right. Just as you come to Buddhist lodge and learn Buddhism or pray to the Buddha, and why you don't go to the church or why you don't go to other temple, that means you have a condition, good condition with Buddhist lodge. 你跟居士林有缘啊. And you come to Buddhism because 你跟释迦牟尼佛有缘啊. Right? So all these are conditions. Then all your 30 students all meet together to study here. 你们30个也是有缘啊. Regardless, you probably don't like each other. Yeah. Say, how come always sit beside me one? So sway, very sway, unlucky. I look at your face, I really, unhappy to see your face. But no choice. That's why people come in, start to choose a seat. Don't need to choose one because some faces you're different, you don't know them well. You see Buddhism like that. It's not like church. Church, you go to church, they have a tea session after the Bible talk. They don't rush back one, They have a sort of like reception, But of course, they don't cook. One thing I met one Christian told me, He said in the church, they didn't cook one, After praying, the most they offer you, provide you a drink only. Hello. They like gathering, right? Big friends. Hello, how are you? Yeah. So after that, half an hour. Okay, bye. Enjoy your lunch. Disappear. People like you all, like terrorists, terrorists, 恐怖分子, 11, 13, 15, shot, pop. Very fast one, all disappear. Right? And no time together. Right? You will say, hey, Lodge will arrange some drink here. Then after the class, mingle around. Then can have a chance to check with the teacher, this and that. No. Rush in and rush out. So, I taught outside the Dharma class throughout the 3 years. One is sitting beside her, She do know him, You sit beside me, what is your name, So they treat it like transparent, ignore, totally ignore. So very funny. I think probably it's due to the character. I think for Christian people, they are very open. People like us, we call it introvert, 内向, extrovert and introvert. But to me, these things are too extreme. Time to open up, you should open up. Time to close up, you should close. And this is called middle path. Outside Dharma class, one of the family, the doctor bring the mother. Hey, mother, mommy, you asked me to come for the Dharma class. You see a lot of handsome guy here. No, all 老 kok kok LKK, LKK, 老 kok kok. How to find the boyfriend? How to find a handsome guy, good-looking one? No, but it doesn't mean that no handsome guy in Buddhism. That kind of things. Why I always want to compare? Because this is the mentality. Because Buddhism didn't tell you in this manner, teach you, say, you must behave in this manner or whatever. It depends on the situation, the occasion. That's why a lot of people are very pessimistic one. Not so lively, And because the teaching, they misunderstood the teaching. Of course, you come to chanting, must be very serious. Why not? So this is a different issue. Okay, back to here. So, of the 3 blessed karma, and this is called 3 wholesome that you studied before in the module 1. So, giving, all right, does not appear, however, in the Dharma common to 3 vehicles. I mentioned it before. So, you will see it in the 3 vehicles. In other words, in Theravada Buddhism, they didn't talk about giving. Only for Mahayana and 5 vehicles. Okay, as I told you before. Now, can you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the 6th line? So, sacrificing oneself of being to benefit to others constitute the real meaning of giving. This is actually talking about Bodhisattva path because in connection and in terms of no self, you practice no self because you don't think about yourself first, you think about other people first. The top priority go to other people. And this more talk about more considerate. If you are a very considerate person, that means you practice giving just a Bodhisattva spirit. Right? Sometimes people think about yourself first. So you may think that, wow, this is very good thing. I don't want to give to you. This one very expensive one, no. I keep, no. And this one lousy one, second hand one, I give you. No. This second hand one, I give you second hand one, but I keep the first hand one. So this is not something to in connection with the emptiness. It's something to do with the self instead of no self. Okay? So here, back to here. Now, so the which coincide the mind of Bodhisattva. Okay? And giving in the great vehicle has a deeper and broader meaning as usual than usual, different from 5 vehicles. Okay, turn to page 228. Okay, just highlight to you. The rest you have to go back and read up by yourself. Okay, the third paragraph, the third one paragraph. Now, this verse, just like I read up for you, this verse does say 3 things. First, one's body. Some people sacrifice your body. In Chinese called 燃香供奉, use the incense to burn your hand or whatever. For lay people, you burn the hand. Okay? Out of the kind of sacrifice, practice giving, something like that. For monks or for monastics, we burn here. 戒疤. Okay? But you cannot burn here because you got hair, you're lay people, right? So you burn the hand, but you cannot burn any part of your body, right? But you must know the meaning of burning incense. Use the incense to burn your body. You must know the meaning behind. Especially for female, if you go and burn your hand, some people regret, and they wear the long sleeve. Otherwise, the boyfriend will ask her, "Hey, why your hand so ugly? Why you go and burn? You are Buddhist, Ayyo." It means all the Buddhists must go for burning the hand, Right? So you must know the meaning of doing that. Is it necessary? What is the meaning behind? Okay. Now, so the body or the should be used to serve others, part of one's body or even one's life should be sacrificed for the benefit of one's country. And just as soldier, people like us, you young people, we are in the NS before, national service. But if you fight, sacrifice in order to protect your country. Some people say, when you go for kill the enemy to protect your country, is it considered as killing? Yeah, it's killing, but it's different from Bodhisattva spirit. Why? Because you protect your country. Not because you want to kill them, then you kill them. So this is different, This don't contradict with the Buddhist precepts, 不算杀生. If you kill on the surface, it's just you commit killing, right? You violate the precept. But in Bodhisattva precept, no. In Bhikkhu precepts, monastic, like Theravada Buddhism, yes, because physically you kill, you use the rifle to shoot the enemy. Just like Russia and Ukraine war, Russia and Ukraine. Then we ask Ukraine people, say, hey, probably your region, you cannot kill enemy, no? You cannot go for a war, no? This is considered killing, no? But if you don't kill enemy, you kill the Russian people, then the enemy will attack your country, will invade your country, then how? Right? Do you ever think about this killing, this problem? And in Bodhisattva precept, this is not considered killing. Right? You kill enemy for the sake of protect your country as a whole. Country got so many people, you sacrifice yourself, it's just like you kill, you violate the precept, but in fact it's not. Bodhisattva precept is different one. Right? Due to great compassion, you can sacrifice yourself for the sake of other people. 你可以牺牲自己，救了很多人。And this is not considered killing for Bodhisattva precepts. Right? Okay, back to the textbook. Now, second, all useful thing, 有用的东西, all useful thing, all one's useful wealth should be properly given in the field of compassion and in the field of respect. Do anyhow throw to people, hey, just like you are a beggar, come to my house, anyhow give you lah. Right? It should show the respect, use a both hand. The Theravada Buddhism in Thailand, in Myanmar, in Cambodia, they call it alms begging. Use the bowl to beg for the food. So when they come to your house to beg for the food, you can say, I give you a throw. This is not showing the respect, right? Then you should give the thing with the both hands. This is called respect, Just like you pass something to your parent, you can say, Daddy, cute. All the people like that one, right? You look at the Korean, you know, Korea and Japan, they are influence each other. Japanese and Korean people. If you see the YouTube or drama, Korean drama or the newspaper, they're very particular about this kind of etiquette, you know, the manner, you know. When I say, okay, drink, we have a cheer, have a cup of coffee or plain water. When you are junior, you cannot drink in front of the senior, no, like that. This is not showing the respect. No. You should turn one side and drink. Why not? You ever notice this one? Yeah. I think this, in the way, also very good kind of culture. Okay? So you must show the respect. Both ways. Some people give it thing to the monastic people like me, but I cannot say, hey, you must use the both hands. I say, wow, 师父你就怎么样？你是识罪啊？ Must use the both hands. I cannot say like that. Must during teaching the time the class I tell you, I teach you, then it should be understood. Next time you should know what to do. I cannot tell you on the spot, say, hey, brother, sister, how can you pass me the thing like that? You should the respect. That's why I pass it to the teacher outside, right? You should use the both hands. And this is called respect. I cannot take skin and tell you, say, hey, you must use your both hands. No, not so good, right? Right now. So this is the kind of manner you should know how to talk to monastic, how to, you know, the kind of thing, 出家人. You cannot just come here, chant, to bless you, don't know anything. And don't know how to apply the Dharma in your daily life. So what? As a Buddhist, so what? 你会背经背到骨瓜烂 so what? Right? Okay, back to the textbook. Third, good Dharma. That is all the good Dharma that one has in the three periods, past, present, future life. Okay, next paragraph. So ordinary people think of these three categories of things, the body, wealth, and good Dharma, as they are, and consider them meaningful only when they possess them. Okay? One more line. So Bodhisattva practice gather virtues and transfer them to the sentient being in order to enable all sentient to become Buddhas. It's just like always at the end of the lecture, we do the transference of merit, 回向 or dedication. Because you want to share this merit with those people never come to the class or to the all sentient being 众生. You are not just attending the class, you have a merit, then keep it to yourself. You know, stingy. They don't want to share with people. Right now. So this is something to do with the dedication. Okay, next verse. Now, so as for Mahayana, the giving, they also have different grade. Just like you study in the school, you have different grading, right? A, B, C, D, or whatever. Distinction. Yeah, this is called grading. Okay, see the verse 1 to 5. Lower people give for the sake of themselves. Not too bad. They still practice giving, but to themselves. To their self-benefit. So this is the lowest grade, 下士 in Chinese. Just like in the army, what is the lowest rank? Private, Lance Corporal. Right? The middle rank. I mean, talking about up to officer, lieutenant, second lieutenant, corporal and sergeant, staff sergeant, incheck. I was in the army, I know. Then after OCS course, officer training, then second lieutenant, Chidiap. That one is second lieutenant officer. We call it upper, something like that, you know. So lowest, you know, middle, then upper. So just like this giving, they also have different grading. Okay, so back to the textbook again. So lower people give for the sake of themselves. Middle people give for the sake of their own liberation, 自己解脱. Own self want to become, you know, attain liberation, you know, for your own self benefit. But the upper, those give all the better, all for the benefiting others, to benefit others. And this is Bodhisattva already. So are called the great people. Great people. Okay, so these are the three different grading. Can you see the page 2 to 9? This one quite straightforward, so read out by yourself. We go to another verse, 1 to 6, verse 1 to 6. Now let's talking in terms of the types of giving. The types, basically there are 3 types of giving. 布施. You see, you practice giving, you bound to have a kind of getting better relationship with people. Like I told you before, right? Like people, having the birthday celebration, whatever. Kind of good gesture, you go and buy some gift or whatever and give it to her or give it to him. People will find very warm, right? Wow, give me a flower, very nice flower. Wow, give me a kind of mask. The mask is very fantastic, got some picture outside one. Or give me something also very cute one. I like it. So when you give something, people feel, people although don't like you, they say, wow, slightly calm down a little bit. Right? So giving is to kind of get a good relationship with people. It's true. Do you read the Today newspaper, Sunday time? Before I came here, I read the newspaper. They put a title there. Give you angpao $1 million. $1 million for your angpao. Then they put say, must be some intention behind. How can give you so much? $1 million for your angpao, no? Who are you? Right? So this is talking about investment one, for that column. So you go back, you can go and read up yourself. Okay, next here. Okay, verse 1 to 6. So the giving of wealth, Chinese called 财施, money. Okay, giving of wealth. And the second one, Dharma, 法, like Buddha's teaching. Okay? And the third, fearlessness, 无畏. How to 写畏? Fearlessness. Okay? But out of these 3, let me tell you, the most important one among these 3, you can guess already, right? Dharma. Dharma is not the money. It's beyond money. Dharma give you the Dharma just like we are delivering the Dharma talk. Listen. And this is good for your spirit. And you will lesser affliction. 烦恼会比较少一点. More on 精神 spirit one, not just a material wealth. You have a $1 million, of course you can enjoy your life, especially now that due to high inflation. I told you before last week, a Singaporean queue for chicken, long queue, because they want to buy chicken rice. And today newspaper came out, don't worry, there are more than enough the chicken for you to eat until you drop. Eat until you drop. Frozen chicken. And some very cute one. The ladies, my student told me, she go and buy the 10 chicken, something like that. 10 chicken. But one time can only eat 3 chicken. So she put the 7 chicken in the freezer. So I eat probably next week or whatever lah. Stock out, stock out food. 储存起来. And it's stupid, use your brain to go, use common sense. You put in the freezer, this one become frozen chicken already. Where got fresh one? Where got live chicken? Stupid one. Well, you do know what is the meaning life. Life is 活生生一条一生命嘞. You see how people kill the chicken? Very cool one. Kill the throat, the blood will just spit out. And this is called life. Life one probably the meat will be fresher, I don't know. Because now I don't eat already. It's true, though. People like us, some people, in China, the China, only in China, the monastic, some can allowed to eat egg, People like me in Singapore, of course, we don't eat egg. But even for 30 years as a vegetarian, he asked me to total the 吃鸡蛋 egg. We are allowed to eat. I mean, China can allow to eat. I tell you, 那个腥味 the smell, I cannot tahan, cannot stand. It's very funny one because it's so many years as a vegetarian. Onion garlic, of course, we cannot eat onion garlic. 五星嘛, as a Maya Buddhism. But for Theravada or people like you can eat 五星嘛, onion garlic, whatever. Even in Indian vegetarian, they're allowed to eat all this, because they say this is considered vegetable. But egg, the smell I tell you that. So now if I go to cafe, vegetarian cafe, I very worry one, because they can fry egg one, Nowadays, the very pure one, solely the vegetarian restaurant, very difficult to find in Singapore. Miao Yi no more already, at the people's part there. So now only left few only, Got one time I went to the cafe, 我跟他讲不要鸡蛋, the youngster, because they earn money part-time job. I know they are students, You are young, you are quite young, not old people, You should open the ear, I told you before I don't want egg, 你不要鸡蛋哈. Then after that came out, egg. What I tell you? So now if you go to cafe, I tell you, I'm very worried, They put egg, And to me, I'm very sensitive one, You can sometimes and luckily they put the egg, sometimes you want to save, because sometimes high inflation. Now all the thing, all price go up, right? Yesterday I bought the bread, 多5毛 50 cents. Sometimes 你打包菜饭2块半3块$3 now $4. You know why the reason caused the high inflation? Because of war, because of supply chain. Right? So now back to just now the chicken rice. The government told us, don't worry, we have enough chicken, but all those are frozen chicken. Besides for Malaysia, only 34%, Brazil. So now they try to import from America. Other country. You cannot just depend on one source. You just throw on the one basket, Like your investment, if you know how to invest money, you shouldn't all put in the one basket. Very dangerous. Just like you're during the courting time, before you confirm this guy or this girl, steady one, then of course initially you must choose first. 这个小小的，这个奇效，这个奇效，这个奇效，这个 normal，这个7块买。But having said that, also not 100% accurate, You know why? During courting time, they will pretend one, They do a lot of camouflage, They put a lot of perfume, Then you smell it. The Chinese word 结婚, the Chinese people are very smart one. In English, we say 戴了 knot. And this knot is actually the Buddhist term, Jie. According to Abhidhamma Kosa, this is considered affliction, 结就是烦恼来的。当然你结婚就很多烦恼了 because only satu orang because your husband, then you give birth baby, then become one family already. And Chinese word 结婚 you know this character? The combination of two words, 女孩子 female 婚 fainted. So always 结婚呢 the first one get fainted is 查某不是大波 Right? Because girls are very emotional one, usually. I say usually lah, not all, so don't come and blame me. Some girls are like 大丈夫 kind of 大波 kind of very intelligent, got wisdom one. 你不要骗我 You thought I'm stupid. I'm not idiot. You are not stupid. I'm not idiot. Always people say that. Right now. Okay, back to the textbook. I promise you don't give you so many examples, otherwise cannot finish. Okay, so these three, among the three Dharma are more important. Okay? It's difficult, but should be sympathetic and sincere. Sympathetic and sincere. It's just giving out respect. So the joys that comes from hearing of the need to give. People really need it. So a lot of people give things. You must give people need the thing. Not do give people don't need it. 要给人家需要的，不要给人家不需要的 in Chinese. Alright? You give people those things, people don't need it, 他不需要嘛。And people just throw behind you, they just throw because they don't need this one. Right? So when you give the thing, you don't just imagine that I thought this is very good. You should like it. You thought only, You thought doesn't mean that I thought, 你想不是我认为的。 So if you give me the thing, I don't like it, so how? So a lot of people give me things. So during my class, I told the student, I'm very outspoken. I say, just I give it to the monastic people like me. Don't give me the things whereby I don't want. So of course I don't throw but I give it to other people So if you know me well, then you can ask me, hey brother, do you need this one or not? Some of my close students, she will ask me, 师父你要这个东西吗？你需要吗？你需要我要供养你You ask already, then it's 100%. That things I want. Right now, but some people will imagine, 我认为这个是很好的，你认为不代表我很好啊。You like durian doesn't mean that I like durian as well. Probably I don't like durian. But you assume only 你假设嘛 You assume I like. A lot of people like to assume one, 这个很好，师父，这个很好吃。They will tell you, 师父这个最好吃的，刚刚金刚系国公最好吃哦。The best one. Right? To you is the best one. To me, it's not the best. Right? So, in other words, what I'm trying to say, some people are very egoistic and very subjective. They thought this should be the best. I thought the best. That should be the best for the rest of the world. Right? And this called subjective. 很主观嘛。And this called ego. 你那个 high ego 嘛。你认为就是这样嘛 And this is how we cause suffering. And this is how we cause a conflict with other people. 对不对？好像你的 girlfriend 或你的老婆大人，哎呀 your birthday I think this should be the best gift for you. How do you know this is the best gift for you? For her? For you, yes, probably the best one. For me, no. Why not? So, here, it says it's superior to the happiness of nirvana. So, when you attain nirvana, means nibbana, liberation, then you should be very happy. Just like Dharma joy. 你来听佛法 you come here to listen to the Dharma, always you say 法喜充满 in Chinese, Dharma joy. But always I like to joke with students, usually after the class, I look at your face, I say, very tired. No joy. 没有什么高兴的 Why? Because very boring. The topic is very serious, very profound one. Very difficult to understand. You see, I was a lay people before. I was a people like your audience sitting there and listen to the Dharma talk. And if the monastic deliver the lecture is so serious and so boring, what tell you, 你坐在那边生不如死 in Chinese. 生不如死 You prefer to die, rather than sitting down there is torturing. 論甲悖論 1 hour, 2 hours. Of course, the speaker talk until, 很高興. Right? A lot of people don't realize yourself. They thought this should be the best way. Right? You see, when you get, as a teacher, when you deliver the lecture, it's two-way, not one-way ticket, It's two-way ticket, not one-way ticket, Two-way, two flow one. Not one way. One way you thought, I'm the best. I'm very confident. Well, no. Confidence is one thing, So, I went to the church. I listened to the pastor. I told you before, right? Because they've gone through the training at the Bible college. And very professional. And then they know how to capture your attention. Of course, besides their teaching is very simple, Bible talk. Really, it's very simple. But simple is very useful because I can apply in my daily life. Then I listen, I really have a joy. I really enjoy it. Right? That's why you see the Buddhist one, now they are doing the camp, for children one, this Buddhist lodge or whatever. In fact, this Sunday school, they already done it before in the church, long time ago in the church. It's very common, very popular one. And we Buddhism start to do it. It's considered very late, but rather than you don't do it, at least you do something. But you must look at how they do it so successful. Right? You're not educationist, you're not expert in education, but let me tell you, software and hardware, if you use the computer knowledge, hardware,
in terms of the teacher. You must train the teacher to be very professional. Software in terms of your teaching material. Right? If you use some so profound theory, giving emptiness or whatever, to go and tell the kids, P1 to P6, you yourself also don't understand. How can you expect they can understand? 将心比心嘛，你自己都不懂 how can you expect the children to understand? Right now? Okay, so back to here, the textbook. Now, can you see the first paragraph? So the first is giving a well, and this can be considered two types. One is external, things of one's body. One is internal, talking in terms of your life. 外财施，外财跟内财 in Chinese, external and internal. And the second is the giving of the Dharma, either teaching like people like us, and transforming sentient beings, with one's own, turn to next page, understanding and practice of Buddha Dharma, or teaching the various kinds of beneficial knowledge and skill. Just a medical, artistic, literary, and so on and so forth. And third one is giving of the fearlessness, 无畏. Freedom from fear of being threatened or oppressed by rulers, thieves, gangsters, or being attacked by lion and so on and so forth. Those animals. Okay? Can you see the page 231? The rest is read out by yourself. The next verse, 127. Something should not be given. Of course, you cannot anyhow give. Just like you cannot give the drug. You cannot give the drug a 毒品. Right? Because that will harm people. And this is considered illegal. Drugs, you're probably going to smuggle, 走私. And Singapore drug is offense is very serious. When you travel the aeroplane before touchdown at the Chang airport, they will make an announcement. You travel before, now people can travel already. You see, now this month is a school holiday. And they will make an announcement. If you bring drugs, the weightage, if you exceed certain weight or whatever, it's considered offense, and sentenced to death. Just recently because of the from Malaysia, right? The Malay guy, the Malay. And this is, you see, they respect the country, the kind of law. You cannot say interfere, say, sentence to death, 死刑很严重. But of course, depends on individual country. Some people 没有死刑的嘞, sentence to death. Right? And Singapore make it very clear, you can say very serious, 很严格, very strict. But the country, they operate in a different system. Right? And that system probably suit your society. Recently, do you heard or read the news from our PM Lee Hsien Loong, the speech when he went to the Japan for the conference? And the reporter asked him, the question is very fierce one. Ask him, if you don't know how to handle dangerous, he talk about freedom, 自由. Have you heard before? You already heard it there, I don't want to repeat. Look at your face. And you say, why the talk about freedom, the conference they held in America, why do you invite Singapore to go there? Of course, they invited so many countries, more than 100 countries. But no, not only Singapore not invited, Of course, China not invited because China, they're talking about no freedom. And Singapore should be invited because Singapore is very good in America, but not invited. But of course, Biden president is not because of freedom. It's because of political things. Or probably they will consider Singapore still consider democratic society. Singapore law is very strict or something like that. But this is no answer. He said, if we find that this policy or whatever is good for the people, good for government, good for the people, good for the country as a whole, and we will do it. But in the process of doing, we'll adjust it here and there because nothing is perfect. One policy is not throughout your whole life or whatever. As you go along, just like this task force when doing the pandemic, so there's some flexibility, very flexible one. Very got fixed one. In Buddhism, talk about impermanent. Where got permanent? All things are impermanent, subject to changes. You see weather, yesterday rain, today no rain. Right? Things are changing all the time. Okay, back to the textbook. Page 231. So, something should not be given. That this kind of thing you shouldn't give because you give, you harm people, you harm yourself, you know, the kind of things. It's not good for the people. And if you are unable, others are unreasonable, or requests are invalid, just like asking for people to give you ask people to give you things, but it's very unreasonable. Hey, can you tell me the answer, teacher, so that I can pass my exam? No. So that I can score? No. Can you leak out some question? Recently, the newspaper came out, I think probably 2 months or 3 months ago, the law student. You see, in university, you know, now the youngster like that. You study law, then you go and break the law. You know the law, and yet you want to break the law. How to forgive? And you can study law. This shows that your result must be very good in your A level. Otherwise, you're not qualified to go to NUS. So it doesn't mean that you are very good in study. You know, you have a very good character. Right? This kind of moral issue. And so you see the justice later on, they change their sentence already because they know that it's very serious. A lot of people feel bad. Right to the forum. How can forgive them? Although you can say because they're young. Otherwise, there are no future for them. If you ask me, not say I'm very strict, I think it should have certain punishment to teach them a lesson. Young 还有得救了 when they are fixed, 没得救了 cannot help anymore. Right? Hey, don't say, hey, 师父为什么你讲 politics? You're wrong, no. This is also something to do with Dharma, no. Dharma not just 无阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，观世音菩萨，观世音菩萨，so. But the character never change, your behavior never change. 佛教是修行的，佛教不是 blessing 的。blessing you can go to the other religion, go to Taoism, 拜拜保佑了。佛教不是这样的，佛教是要修行的嘞。You have to do it, no. We pray, we chant is to show the respect, to nurture our religious spirituality, 宗教情操. So it's different from other religions. We pray because we want the blessing, a lot of blessing from Him. Then you can go to Taoism, you don't come to Buddhism. 你去信别的教咯。佛教不是这样的吗？ So you come to the Dharma class, you should know. You know? And more meaningful if you know the teaching. You know how to do it. Okay, back to the textbook. Okay, we see the next verse. Okay, the rest read out by itself. 1 to 8 verse. So the resolution to renounce. That's like renounce from the world, renunciation in the module 2, right? 出离心. So the resolution to renounce is a superior aspect of bestowing. Okay? So one should always practice this mental joy. Okay? In other words, we practice this giving. Why it's so superior? Because, I mean, if you cut it short, in short, it's something to do with emptiness. It's something to do with the no self. Right? And it's not like 5 ego in the module 1. It's something to do with the ego. You know, it's something to do in connection with the existence. Okay? Can you turn to page 232? Now, so this is also very important, the verse, and you can say this is so like very important when you're talking about the giving, because you're giving in terms of 3 parties. There are 3 things: the giver, the receiver, and the things we give. 你给什么东西? Okay? Can you see the verse 1 to 9? When attached to the 3 wheels, this is called 3 wheels, 三轮. Wheel, right? In Chinese called 三轮. And this 3 wheel is referred to the 3, I told you already, giver, receiver, the things we give. Okay? This is called three wills. Giving is described as worry. If described as worry, just like module 1, right? We are giving in terms of, just of giving. It's something to do with the ego, as I told you, it's something to do with in connection with the existence instead of emptiness. And this giving in Bodhisattva is talking more on the world transcending, right? Beyond the world, or we call it transcendence. 超越的. So what do you mean by transcendent, for instance? In religion, transcendent is the aspect of deity, natures, and power that is completely independent, okay, of the material universe. It means go beyond that. Beyond all known physical law. Okay, beyond that. So in religious experience, transcendent is a state of being that has overcome. Like for instance, we are not transcendent in terms of we are still within time and space. That's why I find that there's some limitation, restriction. But if you go beyond that, that's why I always talk about beyond time and space, 超越时空, then you are more freedom because you are not constrained by time and space. Right? So has overcome the limitation of physical existence, just like physically sitting here. So you are constrained by the space. And by some definition, has also become independent of it. Okay? So they call transcendent. Okay, back to the textbook. So giving is described as worthy, giving that it is not connected to the three wills. Okay? It's called the world transcending parameter, 处世间的布施. Transcending. Okay? World transcending, 处世间 in Chinese. And these three things, three will, giver, recipient, and the things we give must be in connection with emptiness. So in Chinese called 三轮体空, emptiness. That means you cannot attach. For instance, I give you an example. You cannot say, I give you $50. I give you, there's an I. I give you, your ego is there, you expect something in return. Why do you say thank you? The person I give, you also attach to you. Because I like you, I give you. I don't like you, no way. I was very selective. The things we give, this one very good one, very expensive one, I keep. This one lousy one, I want to throw in the basket already. Then I give you lah. 给人家不好的，不要的。快了。Do you think that people very generous? Most of people will give people things a second-hand lousy one ma. This one I want to buy the new one. Then I give you this one lah. 我不要用了。But you really want to give the new one? You just bought yesterday only. But you need it so much. You really even need it. 你需要它 Then I give you lah. I sacrifice lah. I bought $500. I give you lah. It's okay. I buy another one. Because you need it quite urgently ma. Okay, 给你。Who want to give? People like that. Like even I drink the Chinese tea. Sometimes I know the student don't know how to drink the tea. I always give her the second-hand one. I'll see what. Then I drink those good ones. So some people start to, to differentiate already. But this one, no differentiated. They don't have the differentiated mind. 没有分别心的. And this is called Bodhisattva. So back to here. He said, if you do that, three wills in connection with emptiness, 三轮体空, is called the world transcending parameter. That means beyond world. Beyond worldly Dharma. Beyond ego stick. And if beyond ego, become no self. 无我. Clear? Okay, we move on to page 233. Okay, the next second parameter, is he giving talk a lot? So now the next one, the parameter of precepts. 戒. And we know the precepts, the definition of precepts in Buddhism, stopping evil and doing good, 止恶行善, according to Agama Sutra, or Hanjing. And this is the precepts, the meaning of precepts. And if you use from the Monday perspective, precept means moral, 是一种道德 ethic. Okay? Can you see the verse 130? Of course, precept we cover a lot in the module 2, right? In the 3 vehicles. Beside the 5 vehicles, we talk about people like your 5 precepts. 八关斋, 8 precepts, you can practice. But in the 3 vehicles, we talk about monastic precepts for monastic 出家人, whether bhikkhu or bhikkhuni, right? 250 or 500 precepts. But here, we talk about bodhisattva precepts. Okay? So keeping the precepts puts an end of the injury of others. So in fact, some people thinking that precept is to, you feel very constrained. It's a bond. It's a bondage. 被绑. But precept is want us to stop doing bad things to harm other people. So it's just like society law. If everybody abide the law, you cannot overdo it and cross the line to harm people, and this society will be very stable. You know why the investor and foreigner want to come to stay in Singapore? Or to do business in Singapore? One thing is our society is very stable. Means that at least most of the people, they abide law. Right? And so law is not to restrict our movement. It depends how you think. When I was studying in England, there's a Holland guy, student. He said, well, Singapore very strict, Why you ban chewing gum? He said, very strict. In England, when they watch the football, they feel very exciting. They'll chew the gum, to relieve your stress, right? But when they chew the gum, you know how they throw in London, the capital there. The MRT, they call it tube. Tube, T-U-B, tube. We call it MRT train. And they just spray. And chewing gum, they stick to the wall, stick to the floor, or whatever. 1 year they spend how much money to clean up? You know how many £1,000 or £1,000,000 probably. Spend a lot of money to clean it. Right? And this money will come from taxpayer money. Do you think it's fair to you? You didn't chew the gum. You didn't split the gum. But you have to pay for that. So, different countries operate in a different system. You can say, you're very strict. Or this from your perspective, to me, it's okay. To me, I say, no, Singapore, okay. You can move around, walk around. Even midnight, the girl also can go out. I think basically are quite safe. Right now. Okay, can you see verse 130? Second line. And give rise to the universal fearlessness. Okay? Can you turn to the page 234? You need to see verse 131. Now, so breaking the precepts is the root of all problems. Just like you break the law, then it will cause a lot of problem. You're sentenced by the law. Because you cross the line, you will harm people or whatever. Just like you smuggle the drug, you let the people have a chance to take drugs, 你要害死人 or whatever. So this is a very serious punishment. Okay? So breaking the precept is the root of all problems, such as evil, destiny, and poverty. 3 evil destiny you study in the 5 vehicles. Hell, hungry ghost, animal. These are the 3 evil destinies. 三恶道. Can you recall? That's why I said Dharma test is better. Dharma test, they force you to go and remember, to read up. But if I say there's a Dharma test, I think probably left only 1 student. Then we can have a T section. sit down and discuss. Ah, 你好吗? Okay. Where are you going later on after the class? Oh, I want to go to the book fair. Oh, 真的咩? You know, there's a book fair until next week. And yesterday launched by Lee Hsien Loong. There's a family day. First time they launched the event at Suntec City, right? Because they encourage family bond or whatever, you know, the whole family together, you know, enjoy the family life, that kind of thing. You see, government did this kind of thing because without happy family, we will cause a society problem. So our government very smart, no? I mean, from Buddhist perspective, you know, 家庭如果不好 you will end up a lot of problems. And those problems will cause a society problem. And who is going to pay for the cost? So, this is what I think. I'm not PAP. This is what I think. Although I pay and pay, but I pay at least I see some result. Really, I mean, you go to other countries, go to Malaysia, go to Thailand, whatever, you see the road, bumpy road. And here you see the road, you pay income tax, you pay the road tax, you really pay. Because you pay, some people you pay, they put in their pocket. 没有做事的. Right? We pay, there's a HB flat, we pay the conservation charge, 1 month $62, $65, but you see the result, you got sweeper sweep, although anyhow sweep, but sometimes. And people, Singaporean, no wonder virus don't disappear. Sorry, I should say that. Anyhow throw. Some people say, why should I pick up? I throw is normal, you know. You don't throw is abnormal. Why? You pay the money, you let the cleaner do the job. If you keep the thing clean, cleaner lost the job. Rubbish. This kind of mentality. 他说你太干净，他们没工作做。You know what I mean? No? I think it's a funny thing in mentality, no? Right? Just like you torture the maid. You say I pay the money, the maid should do the job. Can I have this kind of thinking? I mean, as a Buddhist, you shouldn't have this kind of thinking. So, such as 3 evil destiny and poverty, keeping the precept is the root of threefold goodness. 三福业. So, a better future, decidedly superior fruits, and by keeping the precepts for the benefit of others, because you will harm other people, you don't harm yourself to harm other people. So, this will give you the ticket. It's an entrance to the great vehicle. 入门票. It's an entrance to the great vehicle. Otherwise, you cannot go in. Without the ticket, you cannot go in. Right? Okay, can you see the page 235 here? Can you see the last paragraph? I just want to highlight this one. So the virtue of keeping the precepts is the root of the threefold goodness. First, those who keep the precepts with the intention of having better future life will be reborn as a human or divine being with riches, happiness, and comfort. This life you are already suffering because you are not rich or whatever, but 如果你好好做人 keeping the precepts to observe the moral whatever, your next life more happier and more rich a little bit, 比较有钱. We can say more comfort in your materialistic life, 物质生活. Okay. Second, those who keep the precepts by relying on the restoration to renounce will attain the holy fruits and superior Dharma. I think of course this goes beyond that. Superior Dharma, and one will definitely not fall back into birth and death. 不会再生死轮回 in the cycle of birth and death. Last time my grandmother said, 你要好好做人啊，死了就去做神啊 in Hokkien. If you do harm people, do a lot of charity work, do a lot of good things, when you die, you definitely go to the heaven. You won't go to the hell. I mean, that's very common, right? Old people always say to us. Okay, third here. If one keep the precepts by relying on the body mind to benefit others and keep the pure sila means precept, 思罗. So one will enter the great vehicle, and this precept called the great vehicle precepts. It belongs to great vehicle. Great vehicle precepts. So are the cause for becoming a Buddha. So if you want to become Buddha, 你要成佛, then you have to keep these precepts, Bodhisattva precepts. Okay? Okay, can you see the verse 132? the below one. Those who accept and keep the pure precepts should guard them if they were life preserver. Preserver. Okay, should guard them. Don't just easily violate the precepts. Should guard them if they were life preserver. So they should not look down, on those who break them. You can say, you break the precepts, and you破戒了. It's just like you keep the precepts, although you break the precepts later in the later stage. But at least because you already make a kind of vow to keep the precepts, it's just like planting a seed. You're planting a seed. Now the seed won't grow, right? Because there are condition, good causal condition. When the good causal condition come, so this seed will start to grow, sprout out. Without a seed, how to grow to have a fruits, right? 种子. So all be obsessed with keeping, and breaking them. So try not to break the precept. But what happens if you break the precepts? You just repent, 忏悔咯. You can say, I break the precept, I kill one ant or one mosquito because now there are a lot of dengue. Newspaper came out a lot of dengue, Break the historical record, 1 week, more than 2,000 dengue because now people focus on pandemic. So now pandemic, not too bad. Now calm down a little bit, slow down a little bit. So the newspapers start to report dengue. Because the weather is so hot. Occasionally rain. Occasionally the hot can be 35, 36 degrees. And this will cause the mosquito, Chinese called 四生嘛. If there's a water, you give them the condition to come out, to arise. So make sure your pier, water pier 桶, 水桶, you must put upside down. Make sure no water. Prevention better than cure. You can say water is okay. Why? Because 阿弥陀佛保佑我来 Dharma class. Then okay 咯。你看有没有保佑你咯 I told you earlier, 36 the Dharma protector, 36 bodyguard. Once you take the refuge, sometimes they were on the sabbatical leave. They were on leave. Like now school holiday also on leave. You want to break, they also want to have a break. So if they want to have break, nobody around you, surrounding you to protect you. You have to protect yourself. Okay. Can you see the page 237? We move on to the next one. Next parameter. Giving precepts. What's the next one? Patience, 忍辱, or tolerance. And you should know that when we interact with people, a lot of time we have to tolerate, practice tolerance. If you can't tolerate, just like you tolerate me, I also tolerate you. Right? You want to wait until 11:15, wow, lun ka bui lun, okay. Right? You working with your boss, you have to tolerate with your boss, whether lady boss or your boss is a guy. But I heard usually they say lady boss 很难相处的。Usually 啦，我说 usually. Because emotion, that kind of thing, whatever. I got one student, she also ladies. 师父你讲的对，女孩子真的有问题。But of course, guy also got problem. But in comparison, slightly more problem because 因为他们女孩子 born in innate one 嘛 ，for instance jealousy 啦，度量小啦 ，like to compare, And if they hate you, if they won't speak up one, 他放在心里面的嘞，你不知道的嘞。Wait until one day, they kill you, chop. Then put into Singapore, north, east, south, west. Chop your body, into pieces. No, I'm joking. 他们讲女孩子好是很好的嘞 ，very good in cooking, housekeeping. 所以有女人的地方很干净的嘞。Temple also same thing, For us monastic, bhikkhu and bhikkhuni, temple different one. Usually bhikkhu temple messy and dirty one. Double. Sometimes don't do housekeeping. For the nun, female, you go there, very clean, very nice. They cook the food. also very nice, but the character not so nice. Okay, the next verse, 133. Patient. But this patient, if you are just I scare you, so I tolerate. 你的拳头比我大 I scare you. 我练 taekwondo, I don't know how to fight, I scare you. That is something to do with the ego and assistance, 跟有相应. But this patient here is talking about, always we talk about in connection with emptiness, no self. But if you in connection with no self, your patient, you practice patience, you will last longer. You won't feel suffering. You won't feel unhappiness. Like I say, I scare you because you learn taekwondo. Well, you know how to fight. I cannot fight with you, so I scare you, I tolerate. But I go to the toilet, pui. And this is not practice tolerance. Right? Okay, back to the textbook here, verse 133. To embrace and protect sentient beings. To embrace and protect sentient beings, Bodhisattva practice the transcendence of, this one they call transcendence. I told you the meaning of transcendence. Right? The transcendence of patience. 要超越, go beyond that. Go beyond just say, I scare you, so I tolerate. Then you start to regret, go to the toilet, pui. But if you know that in connection with no self, also know the other party, everything emptiness. In other words, you go beyond that. So your tolerance, you will find it very happy. You won't suffer. 你不会起烦恼, no affliction. So, Bodhisattva practice the transcendence of patience or tolerance, tolerating hateful insult. Wow, people insult you, scold you, whatever. 哇，你说哇，师父那不是白白被欺负不利 ？No. What is the implication behind when people scold you or insult you? Because people are so impulsive, right? So you come down first. If you find a chance, there's an opportunity. You need to educate them. And this is called Bodhisattva precept. Not say step on my face, then step one more time. Gong, stupid people step on your face, step one more time. Then people bully you, lor. 好人被人欺嘛 in Chinese. Very kind person always bullied by people. One. I got one student told me, 师父，在这个 society if you are too kind people will bully you take advantage. I said, depend. But if people taking advantage, then you must find a way to talk to them. If they keep on doing that, because karma, they have a bad karma, so they have to face the consequences, not me. But at least I tell you, not say I educate you, I tell you, but you don't change. Unless you don't tell them, this is not Bodhisattva precept, not Bodhisattva spirit. Bodhisattva spirit means you need to educate them, tell them. If they don't do it, you've done your job already. You do your homework already. So it's their problem, not your problem. But if you don't tell them, according to Bodhisattva precept, if you don't tell them it's your problem, not only their problem, you also got problem. So that's Bodhisattva and monastic precept. Difference between them. Clear? But a lot of people say, 菩萨戒，哇，你白白给人家欺负的 let people bully, they cannot bounce back, cannot fight back. No. This is not a Bodhisattva precept. Right? Last time I don't know also, a lot of people think that, let people bully you. Then I don't want to keep the precepts. So, calmly accepting suffering and carefully observing the Dharma. Observing the Dharma, what Buddha taught us, you must have a wisdom. Talking about no self, dependent origination. This is called Dharma, observing the Dharma. 用佛法关照. And then you will suffer. What people insult you or scold you, the kind of things. But a lot of 佛教徒不懂的，没骗你的。Last time I also don't know. That's why you must know the teaching. Then you won't feel the precept. 你就不要害怕受戒嘛。Right? You don't find it's a restriction. It's a bondage. 被束缚。Okay, can you turn to page 238? Going to time's out already. Okay, one more verse. Okay, verse 134. So what benefit is there is being angry at others? Be angry also no use. Right? You hurt yourself, you hurt other people. It increases the sorrow and suffering of oneself and others. You won't find happy. So the fire of anger burns up the root of goodness. Well, for instance, you do a lot of charity work. You keep the pure precepts. But at that moment, it bursts out. You show your anger, you scold people, you harm people. So all your good roots, 你的善根 all burn out. 火烧功德林 all 前功尽弃 all burn, go back to zero. Actually, you're married until 80 marks already, 80 already, out 100. Then just because of you, your hot temper, everything explode, go back to zero. So you're wasting your time. Right? So the fire of anger burns up the roots of goodness, while patience, right, encompasses the 5 virtues. Okay, the 5 virtues. Can you see the page 239? The 5 virtues, I think you can read out by yourself. We skip it. These are quite straightforward. And even they tell you the anger, one by one, they explain to you. All these are quite straightforward. Page 239. Okay, can you turn to page 240? Okay, the last paragraph. So, since one thought of the intolerance can lead to such evil consequences, how can they not try to subdue it? Of course, you try to subdue it. So, conversely, if one can tolerate hatred, one has all 5 virtues, all these 5 virtues, and agreeable appearances, right? Tactfulness, good, friends, right? Non-violation of precepts, and progress toward the Buddha way. So the other way around. These are the 5 virtues, 5 merits. Okay? So, these are recovered from giving, precepts, patience, 布施, 持戒, 忍辱. So the author is very skilled, you have a skillful means. Subsequently, this verse, page 135, you use the analogy to show these 3 among them, the relationship among them, 3 of them, right? Giving, precepts, and patience. Okay, so what is the relationship among them? Time's out. Okay, we will continue for the next lecture. So we stop at page 240. Okay, shall we do the dedication? Please hold the palm and follow me. May all the merits thus accumulated be dedicated to all sentient beings. May all sentient beings and I together attain Buddhahood. Okay, please stand up. Please hold the palm. One bow to the Buddha. Okay, see you all next lesson. Okay, enjoy your lunch.